Welcome everyone to Tech You Through episode number 3. My name is Ivars and today let's return back into the year 2011. I had a wonderful chance at getting a now 9-year-old Apple device. Today let's have a look at this 2011 MacBook Pro 17-inch laptop. As you can see, it has that classic old school design, good old aluminum housing with the beautiful glowing Apple logo that I miss so much. And I wish new MacBook models would still have them. Here you can see all the ports that were present at that time. And even today, many Mac users can't get over the fact that all the ports are gone. A very nice touch in those pre-Retina display MacBooks was that remaining battery indicator button. You just press it and it shows how much juice it has at that point. And here we can see all the ports it has. Such a historic view. Starting from the back, there's that good old MagSafe power port, Gigabit Ethernet port, FireWire 800 port, that is up to 800 megabits per second, 3 USB 2.0 ports, up to 480 megabytes per second, Thunderbolt port, up to 10 gigabits per second, audio line in, audio line out, and then there's that ExpressCard 34 slot. So let's talk about that ExpressCard 34 slot. At that time there was this definition. ExpressCard, it's a new standard that promises to deliver thinner, faster and lighter modular expansion to desktop and notebook computer users. Consumers will be able to add hardware capabilities such as memory, wired and wireless communication cards, and security devices by simply inserting these modules into their systems. All ExpressCard slots will accommodate modules designed to use either USB 2.0 or the emerging PCI Express standards. Here you can see a light indicator that lets you know that your Mac is powered on. On the right side you can see that it has the good old DVD SuperDrive with 8 times speed slot loading. Starting with Retina MacBooks in 2012, this SuperDrive was removed and never returned back. And when we open the lid, we can see the original great scissor switch mechanism keyboard. There is the power button that pre-Retina Macs had built in the aluminum housing, not a dedicated key as we are used today. The keyboard is very good. The typing always was a joy. Here you can see the now very small trackpad that is made out of glass. At that time it was the biggest ever seen. It wasn't a force touch trackpad as in today's Macs. You could physically click on this one. Speaker grills who haven't changed till today. And MacBook Pro lettering. And let's power it on. Let's see how long will it take to boot up. It has the upgraded hard drive from the 5400 RPM to a Kingston SSD drive, so it should boot up significantly faster. There we go. So, let's see the specs inside this beast. You can see it runs Mac OS High Sierra. It is the 17-inch early 2011 model. It has the quad-core 2.2 GHz Intel Core i7 second generation processor, 4 GB of DDR3 memory that could be upgraded to 8 GB of RAM. Here we can see the integrated Intel HD graphics card, but it has the dedicated card inside too. Let's go to the display section and we can see that it has a pretty good resolution screen for that time. 1920 by 1200. Storage. As we can see, this SSD has been divided in separate drive partitions. 2 plus 2 GB of memory. Let's check the overall system report. Let's check through a couple of sections. Ethernet card, Firewire, up to 800 megabytes per second, and then we see the graphic cards. It has the dedicated AMD Radeon HD 6750M with 1 GB of GDDR5 memory. For that time, a pretty good graphics card. And again, the memory 2 plus 2 DDR3. And in the power section, we can see that this model has 778 battery cycle count. So, it's usable, but in the near future, the owner will need to change it. So, this, guys, is a nostalgic return to the 17-inch MacBook Pro model. And of course, it has that glowing Apple logo. It's really a thing of beauty, and many years it has been a real status symbol. So now I will open up this 17-inch MacBook Pro for you guys, and we'll check what's inside this beast. Let's turn it upside down. I have my tools, and let's get those screws out. So, I just opened up the aluminum bottom. Here you can see these tiny screws all around, except these couple of bigger ones we have at the top here. Here you can see that SuperDrive unit. This is the removable battery, easy to remove and replace. Here you can see that Kingston SSD storage that the owner put in place of that original slower hard drive. And here is the RAM memory. You can easily replace this 2 plus 2 GB pair and upgrade to an 8 GB 4 plus 4 modules even today. These are the vents for cooling down the CPU. It is possible to replace this SuperDrive DVD-ROM with another hard drive or SSD, but you need to buy a special kit to keep that hard drive inside this area. So, that is the MacBook Pro 17-incher from the inside. So now let's move on to an even more interesting part. Let's compare the 2011 17-inch MacBook Pro to the very latest 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. As you can see, the new 16-inch model looks significantly smaller and thinner against this bigger and heavier 17-inch model. You can see what 8 years separation looks like right now. The new one doesn't have that iconic glowing Apple logo. Oh, actually it glows right now. Here you can see the difference in thickness. Of course, the new model has only USB Type-C ports. It has 2 on each side. And on the right side there is a 3.5mm headphone jack too. If I put the new one over the old one, you can see the size difference even better. Now the 16-inch MacBook Pro looks even tinier compared to only 1 inch bigger older brother. So, present meets history. You can see the big difference. So many ports in favor of the 17-inch model. If we put them side by side, you can see the big, beautiful Retina display with minimal bezels. And on the right side, the bigger screen, but with bigger bezels and lower resolution display. Of course, the trackpad in modern MacBook Pros is gigantic. These are the new scissor switch mechanism keys. Escape button has returned. You have the touch bar and Touch ID. Speaker grill design is actually very similar between them. And this huge trackpad compared to the old, significantly smaller one on the 17-inch model. The old scissor switch mechanism keys have even bigger travel. The keys are actually smaller if we compare them to the new 16-inch model keys. Both have MacBook Pro lettering at the bottom of the screen. Screen resolution is significantly worse on the old 17-inch model compared to the gorgeous Retina display on the new 16-incher. You barely can see any pixels on it. Let's put them side by side and once again compare both trackpads. Yes, the old trackpad feels too small and the new trackpad is even too big for a normal everyday use and ergonomics. And let's take one last look from the backside. I think both these designs look equally beautiful. Actually, I have some nostalgic feelings about the old MacBook Pro design. This 17-inch model is still powerful, even today. If you upgrade the RAM and SSD, it should work fine for everyday tasks, even in 2020. And at the end of the video, just some more pictures of this historic MacBook Pro model. I hope you love this comparison. Subscribe and let's meet in the next episode of Tech You Through.